Hey friends, it's Randy from Our Cozy Garden, and it is the second weekend of March today. We are starting off the rest of our dahlias for our growing season this year. If you're new to our channel, we are edible and cut flower gardeners in Zone 3, Alberta, Canada. And this year we are focusing more on growing cut flowers for selling, mainly for bouquets and for whatever purpose. And dahlias are one of those that we are most excited about. So back in, I think, mid-February, I checked some of the dahlia tubers that I have stored in our basement. And there were some tubers that I wasn't sure would make it. So I took them out, and right before I chucked them, I almost threw them away, I thought I'd give them a try. And these were those seedlings I almost threw away. They did sprout, they did survive, and I think a lot of these, I just don't remember the varieties now. A lot of these are cafe au laits. Now the cafe au laits that we bought last year did not have enough time to bloom. We bought them too late. I think it was in mid-June that we bought them from Walmart. They were on sale. And back then, we weren't sure what cut flower varieties were growing for this season. But we placed them outside in pots. The cafe au laits did not have enough time to bloom, but the tubers survived, and I collected them along with some other varieties that we have. And over the past few weeks, I've been pinching them and putting them right on the soil. And most of the ones that I pinched became their own seedling. But right now, I am planting the rest of the dahlia tubers that we have and some other new ones that I'm really excited about. So, the first variety that we are starting this year is, of course, our cafe au lait from last year. I also bought new ones just in case these guys don't have enough time to bloom or they don't survive. So first, cafe au lait. This variety is really stunning. The first time I saw them in Calgary Farmers Market one day, I was mesmerized, you could say, and that's why I really wanted to grow cafe au laits in my garden. They were stunning, they were beautiful. I think they start pink, and then over time, as they bloom, as the petals unfurl, then they turn into this beautiful creamy white Dinnerplate dahlia. So that's cafe au lait. The second variety, which will be new to us, is Shiloh Noel. Shiloh Noel is one of those that I've seen in brochures from dahlia tuber companies that we were looking at last year, and it's one of the ones that I'm really interested. It looks very similar to cafe au lait, but it's more frilly in the petals. It's more pink in color. But it's also a Dinnerplate dahlia, and one that I am also very excited to grow this year. The third variety that we have from last year, and these ones we bought in Olds College, right here in Alberta. And these are called, this one. These are called Carribean Fantasy. They're not the biggest dahlias. They're not, I don't think they're dinner plates. They're like medium-sized ones. But they still were very beautiful, very stunning. They had, if I remember it right, and I will have a photo of the ones that we grew last year, they do have, they're mainly white with a mix of yellow and orange and red. And I think there's some purple tinge in it, I'm not sure, but Caribbean Fantasy is a really beautiful dahlia. These ones, I stored them after the flowering season before frost. I cleaned them up, I took them out of the container, and then I cleaned them up and then stored them in here in saran wraps or cling wrap. And so far, they look like they've stored really well. The fourth one is Fleurel. This is a white Dinnerplate Dahlia. They were also very beautiful last year. We had them when outside it was already snowing, so I had to bring them in because I was just not ready to let go of these really beautiful dahlias. So Fleurel is mainly white Dinnerplate Dahlia, and we're excited to have those as well. This one is Blue Boy. We did not have these bloom last year. Again, we bought them mid-June, so we did not have enough time. And I noticed that the tubers that I got from this after summer were not the biggest. They're smaller. I think Blue Boy is not a Dinnerplate. I think it's a medium-sized Dahlia. So yeah, that's it. Before I do anything and start them up, I'd like to clean them up using lukewarm water. And then I have in here 1/4 cup of bleach. And the reason for this is I just want them cleaned. For whatever reason, they'll have fungus or whatever diseases that they have. This will help clean those up, kill the viruses. So for the tubers that we grew last year, this is just, cautionary measure. Make sure that I clean them up before I put them back on the ground. But especially that we are introducing more Dahlia tubers in our garden, it's always best to clean your Dahlia tubers. So this is maybe 8 liters of lukewarm water, and then 1/4 cup bleach. So by the way, this technique, the saran wrap technique, I picked up from Fleurel. This is in one of her Dahlia growing videos. We'll have another video done for storing Dahlias, but so far the ones I stored like this did sprout. So you lay a saran wrap like that, and then you place your Dahlia tuber, and then you roll, and then you place your Dahlia tuber, and then you roll. So right now we're doing the opposite. We're unraveling it. So I hope these guys have better chance this year, especially that we're starting them early. And I know a lot of Zone 3 gardeners have already started their Dahlias back in late February. Some even earlier. They just, which you can do if you have the space for your grow light and the time to maintain it. You just have to pinch them off. Otherwise, you'll have them growing too tall on your grow light setup. Next is Fleurel. And even at this point, let me show you that. It already is starting to sprout. It has a number of eyes in there. I don't think I'd still break this into smaller tubers. I'll just leave them like that. Looks like this one. I can divide further. So the way I understand, and I'm not an expert on dahlias. I'm just trying to grow them here in zone 3. So the way I understood is your dahlias, this is your tuber, this is your neck, and then you will have, at the end of your neck, you should have eyes. And those eyes, that's where your dahlia would sprout from. Now, you don't want to break this neck because your eyes need your tubers to sustain it in its growth. So imagine the tuber is its food storage, and then the neck is where that food storage passes through, and then the eyes is where your plant would start growing from. So if you damage it, for example, this one, where this neck was broken before I opened the package, that means whatever eyes it had on top could not access the tuber, sugars and the food storage that are in there anymore. So if I keep it in there hanging, it'll just rot. And that rot could affect the rest of the tubers. So because it's already broken, I have to take it out. And then because the tuber clump was too big for my container, I had to try to break them apart. So again, making sure that you have a full set. You have the tuber, you have the neck intact, not broken, and then you have the eyes, which is usually concentrated right there where it meets the main stalk of the plant, of the previous plant. So I have in there our cafe au lait. I think this one I can divide further. This one has a really big tuber. And then this one, although it's very tiny, very slim, its neck is intact and its eyes should be in there somewhere. So I'm keeping it in there because that might be its own tuber later on. But these small ones, these hanging ones, you don't need them. So you can just snippet them off like that. That way, your tubers are clean. This one, I am a bit disappointed. I picked this up right before the store was closing, and looks like I got one with most of them have their necks broken. But anyhow, I still have this one big tuber right here. Next part is to pre-sprout them in some growing medium. Start with our Fleurels. These are 8-cell plug trays. I bought them specifically for our dahlias. Put in moist soil in there, about an inch, and then you place your dahlia right on top. And then you cover it with a half an inch to an inch of soil. For some gardeners, they place it in their basements, especially if they don't have any grow light setup yet. But in my case, I'll just leave it here because I still have a few more rack spaces. But this one I'll be sprouting without the lights on. Once they have sprouted, then I can just turn the light on and I can let them grow over the next few months. And there you go, the rest of our Dahlia tubers in storage and some new ones are set to sprout, wake up from their winter slumber, and once they put out 3 or 4 sets of leaves, then they can move into these bigger, taller pots. They are the same size. You could fit 8 of these in one tray. The white pots are just taller, has more space for the tubers to grow roots into and to pull nutrients from. So if you want to stay updated with our dahlias for this year's cut flower farm, feel free to subscribe to our channel, Our Cozy Garden. If you like what we're doing, if you like our videos, we would appreciate if you click that like button, thumbs up. And until next time, this is Randy from Our Cozy Garden. Thanks so much for your time. Have a good day.